Всем привет! У меня сегодня будет довольно необычный прямой эфир. Сегодня ко мне придет иллюстратор из Македонии, его зовут Дарко, и вместе мы с ним начнем немножко пообщаемся и попробуем нарисовать персонажей в его стиле, так как он рисует. Он сотрудничал со многими компаниями, в том числе крупными и известными, поэтому его опыт довольно интересен, и я думаю, он поделится с нами. Сейчас я пока не вижу его заявки. Так. Я все жду, да. Говорить мы будем преимущественно на английском языке. Если вы вдруг заметите, что я где-то делаю ошибки в английском, ничего страшного, я делаю их и в русском. Но мне, конечно, довольно волнительно. Надеюсь, что из этого выйдет что-то интересное. Как я говорила, мы сначала пообщаемся, а потом приступим к совместному рисованию. Всем привет, спасибо, что вы тут. Всем машу и жду Дарка. Так. У Дарка какие-то проблемы с подключением. Если кто-то хочет порисовать вместе с нами, можете взять удобные для вас материалы, к чему вы там привыкли рисовать. Я постараюсь по ходу переводить, что он будет рассказывать. И я думаю, будет интересный опыт. Я, честно говоря, еще не знаю, что он будет рисовать. Он занимается разработкой персонажей для рекламы, для... Странное дело, он не видит.
Все. Домочадцев я всех слила, я и так достаточно тут переживаю, что вы еще и домочадцев включаете. Oh, hello, Darka.
Okay, hello.
Nice to meet
you. Oops, sorry. Nice to meet you, and good morning to everyone.
Yes, we have a difference now between us. Now he's 10 hours before.
Yeah, it's 9 a.m. here, pretty early.
Okay, let's start with introduce you. Tell us about yourself, like in job interview. How long you are drawing? When did you start to draw? Maybe you remember your first order on your first drawing. Tell us about everything.
Yeah, so I started drawing like when I was still young as a child, and continued doing that all the time. So probably the point where I plan to continue with working like as a job and as an illustrator was probably at the point when I was in high school, when the teachers were yelling at me to stop drawing and stuff like that. But
in lessons in school.
yeah. But I have a really good friend that's also an artist. He's really great, and he was probably another reason for me to continue drawing and continue illustrating stuff. So probably the things that happened in my life, like more or less, were the reason to continue and doing that. After that, after high school, I went to the Faculty of Fine Arts, which was pretty nice. I mean, sorry?
Are you professional in that?
Yeah, I guess so. But still, I mean, I went to the Faculty of Fine Arts to broaden my knowledge, which wasn't the best idea, probably. I mean, it was nice. The really good thing with the faculty was that you meet a lot of people that are doing the same thing and you change ideas. So you learn a lot of stuff with co-working with your colleagues and friends.
Did you learn different techniques, materials? Yes.
Yes, that was the really nice part for the faculty, because you learn a lot of things. You usually learn them by trying out stuff, or when your friends do something, you want to try do something else, or want to try what they did. So it's really nice. That's the positive side of working with people, with more people at, I mean, in one place. So
Yeah.
freelancing, the good sides and the bad sides of freelancing are probably that, because when you work as a freelancer, you usually work alone, so you don't have that much critique around you. But when you work in a company or when you work with more people, you get critiques more often. So those are the good sides and the bad sides, probably.
Nobody loves critics.
Yeah, but critics are really nice, actually. I mean, they help improve stuff.
Yes. Did you remember your first order? With whom you worked in the first time?
Yeah, I think that my first order was in high school. It was for some booklet or something like that. There were a few illustrations that were supposed to be done. It was, yeah, that was definitely the first order, and I mean the first paid order, which helped
Yes.
me continue further.
I get my first order later. I didn't work for commission, but I draw since my childhood, since 2 or 3 years, the same.
Do you
Uh,
keep any of the drawings that you were drawing as a child?
yes, I have. I have a drawing. It was a frog who catch дюймовочка. I don't know how in English.
Yeah, a fly.
But, it was my first drawing, and I still save it for now, this times. But my first order was maybe after my 12th, because I didn't show my pictures for somebody, but anyone seen that he ordered to draw for himself. It was his dog. I drew it with pencil.
I think there should be a friend of mine that was asking me to draw her dog. I mean, that she might be watching us, and she will probably kill me if I don't draw the dog. So
Do you often to prefer to work? I mean, iPad, pencils, markers, paints, Photoshop, etc.
I like to combine more techniques. I mean, I usually work digitally. Sorry, one moment.
Oh, your bird.
Yeah, it's the bird. Usually I like working digitally because it's faster, but I do like working on paper. I mean, usually what I do is do a lot of sketches, rough sketches on paper. And when I find the right idea, I continue finishing it digitally. I use Photoshop, and I use Procreate on the iPad, which is an amazing app.
I'm ready to go with iPad.
Yeah, I mean, it's the perfect tool for working outside of the home. Even at home, like you can work in the bed. So
Very, very useful thing. Do you work as freelancer now, or you have a contract maybe, or you work remotely?
I work, I mean, at the moment I work on few projects. It's mostly like t-shirt designs and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's something that I really enjoy. I really enjoy working on simple designs like funny characters and funny characters or some simple design or something like that. And I also work as a illustrator for a website called How to Study in College. It's pretty new, like it's still going up. I mean, we've been working on that for 2-3 years, so I'm working as the illustrator for the website. That's like the main project that I'm working on at the moment.
But you take any orders from other customers?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I do take orders from other people, like from other clients. I really enjoy working on most of the projects. One thing I can tell to people is not to overload your workload. Like, a mistake that I do sometimes is I accept a lot of orders, and I work on 10 projects at the same time. And sometimes, I mean, like 10 projects. But you work on many things which are actually taking your mind from one place to another, and you have pressure to finish everything. Usually the deadlines are not that long, so you have to finish everything really fast. And that creates some small pressure when working. But
I listen.
yeah, but working on one project, focusing on one project and finishing that and continuing with another thing and then with the next one is a lot better than working on a few things at the same time.
I understand. I have probably the same situation in my orders, and I want to know where is you find your customers and your orders. Use any platforms, or it is your friends?
Yeah, so when I first started as a freelancer, it was, I mean, with freelancing, with getting orders, it was usually from people that I knew that wanted something done for some company or something else, or some product that they had. After that, I started, like, it was the beginning of the internet, like the beginning of the things like Upwork, Freelancer, DeviantArt was really famous at that time. There were a few other websites. So I joined Upwork. I started applying for jobs there for some time. I
How is
also
going
used,
with Upwork?
sorry?
How is going with Upwork?
Right now, I think it's really nice. Like, I don't use it that much as I used to, but I think it's a lot better than most of the other websites that are for freelancers.
Did you notice the changes with situation during coronavirus and quarantine? Became less or more?
From what I've heard, like, I mean, with the people that I talk to, like other artists, most of them have a lot. I mean, also me, I have a lot more work than usual. Probably because people are at home, so they're trying to finish what they've started.
Yeah, sure. I notice the same, and I tell every time to go to freelance platform and became to freelance because really I have a lot of work now during quarantine and coronavirus. So a few orders in a day, almost
Yeah, I
every.
mean, I guess that's a good thing. So
Not
the positive side of the situation.
Okay. Do you want to start drawing? We have
Yeah,
time.
yeah, sure. Just one moment, please.
Yes, I need a minute to switch.
Yeah, I'll have to use the Photoshop.
I hope nothing to fall down. Okay.
I'll just darken up a bit the room so it can be visible a bit better.
You faster than me.
I was preparing for this.
Perhaps you train it to do it. Okay. Did you share the screen? Yes.
Yeah, I did, so it can be seen better. Is it okay? I can't see. So I don't know, like I'll start with something simple, probably. You can tell me if it's not if it's not visible. Is this okay? Yeah, I guess.
Yes. I just switch on our translation in PC.
Yeah, no worries.
Good to see what happened.
So
I just switch on our translation in. Okay.
okay, so let's say I'll start with something simple. Like usually when it comes to t-shirt designs, I love framing the characters. Like, and the characters that I did for Inktober, like that I do almost every year, I love framing them like in some square or something like that. So it gives me a bit, I mean, it kind of closes the freedom, like it gives you a frame actually where to work on and where to place your characters, especially when it comes to t-shirt designs, I mean, or apparel or anything similar. It's really nice to have that border to know where it's going to be placed. So I don't know.
Interesting.
I might.
Do you use custom brush or you something
For some things I use custom brushes. I mean, I use the brushes from Photoshop. For some things I use some brushes that I've downloaded from the internet. Like, I don't know what these brushes are. It actually depends what I'm working on. If I do something more painty, if it's not that clean, I use a lot of different brushes. Sometimes I use textures. Whatever helps create the idea faster and better. And sometimes I just go with the basic Photoshop brushes, like the clean round brush.
Yes, understood. I created for myself brushes who looks like pencils, and I too comfortable for me. Okay.
Is that for Photoshop or for the Procreate app?
For Procreate, I don't use Photoshop for a long time because I used to travel, going out and drawing at my sofa with journaling because I think it's more comfortable for me.
With the iPad?
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a lot better than staying on the PC or.
What do you draw already?
I guess this is a character, like probably like a girl character. Yeah, it's going to be a girl character, like an elf or something like that. So I'm thinking about something like making it. Yeah, I could. Even though that will be hard right now because I can't see the display. Oh, do you get? I mean, you probably get a lot of orders, like for people to for you to draw them, right?
Yes.
That's probably one of the things that I don't like. I mean, for when people ask me, I mean, I do like to draw people and everything, but I don't like it like when it becomes pressure for me to do that.
Oh, how to create your veto right now? How do you imagine where is will be your her hands and
Well, I'm imagining the character like holding something, so it's probably going to be a planet or something like that.
I like that
So
you draw with the first sketches.
this is still too slow. Sometimes I just do something really rough. Can you see this part? Okay,
Uh,
so I sometimes I just draw something like this, like a.
when I draw, I make too many sketches, lines.
I do the same thing, like, but since this is something simple, I mean, for simple stuff, it usually goes a lot faster. I try to keep it simple, even for more complicated stuff. So the sketch, so the sketch will be just a basic few lines, so I know where things are, where should I place the main elements. But I, but sometimes I get into detail, a lot of detail into the sketches,
Understood.
even though it's smarter to go with rough lines. I have something just to know where you have the main elements placed.
Oh, I saw in your profile a picture with a caveman who was against when you in wheels and fire. Tell me, how did you create them? How did you find that idea? It was so cool.
The idea was because at the moment, it's really famous, like with 5G and stuff like that.
Oh,
So that was the starting point for that illustration, because people are getting crazy for things that they do not understand a lot. So, I mean, the thing was, the main idea was that at some point, like, there were people that were against electricity, against light bulbs, about anything, any kind of technology that was new to them, which is, I don't know, maybe understandable to be afraid
I'm
from
so
new
glad
stuff.
that you're normal.
But so the idea was I mean, that illustration was a parody to those things happening, like that at some point probably the cavemen were against inventing the wheel.
Um, okay.
I'll try to talk more. I forget that I have to talk like this when I go. Okay.
I drawn something about peace, yes?
Sorry.
You draw something about peace, so we
Yeah.
it is the earth in her hands.
Yeah. It will be the planet.
Okay, when my girl will be put the moon in the earth.
And that will be nice combo. I haven't worked in Photoshop in a long time, I guess. Okay, sorry for not talking a lot.
That's okay.
I
I
mean,
don't talk well when I draw, and
yeah,
in silence or light music. Which
usually there's a lot of music. I mean, there's always music playing. Lately, I've been listening a lot of podcasts.
uh,
So, but it's still, I mean, it's still good to have something, some sound, something going on around.
I don't know what I draw.
just go with the flow. Okay, this is not avatar, even though blue character. But does the music, I mean, does listening to different kind of music change the mood for your work?
I love to listen Georgian group. His name is Gzavrelbi. Did you hear it?
No, I haven't heard it.
Mm. Also, I like some lounge, hip hop lounge.
Trip hop and stuff.
Yes, I should answer in Russian for question. Диана, мы рисуем, значит, абсолютно случайных персонажей. Мы думаем, разговаривали сегодня до эфира о том, что мы будем рисовать. Решили нарисовать что-то о мире, о жизни без войны, и поэтому Дарко сейчас рисует планету Земля, а я рисую его... ее спутницу, скажем так, я рисую Луну, которую вот девушка передает вот таким образом. Мы не обсуждали, как у нас будут выглядеть эти персонажи. Это вот сейчас спонтанное рисование, скажем так. I'm really draw without any references. Он слушает подкасты, когда он работает.
Podcasts and music, it depends on the mood.
Yes, my Russian friends want to know what you hear.
It depends on the mood. I mean, it can be electronic music, it can be hip hop, it can be trip hop, rock.
I love hip hop too, but very famous like Portishead.
I mean, I've listened to Portishead a lot in the past, but right now I haven't heard them in a long time. But yeah, it is one of the bands that I really like. I can't remember what I was listening like. Lastly.
I think we will share our music later.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many new bands coming up all the time. So some of the bands that I'm listening to, I have no idea what their names are until I check their names in my playlist. Sometimes I do like to do small cheating. With drawing stuff that are symmetrical. It's for the sake of art to do, so there can be more art.
Astronauts would kill me for for this space.
What for?
I thought about astronauts should think about. I'm crazy, but I combined the sun, moon, and everything in one place.
I can see some things that are not right with the hands. I'll fix that.
Do you have any tricks or hacks for your drawing to make better, maybe color or lines or something?
I like to do, like, the first thing that I like to do, like I said, was creating a fast sketch or something like that. It really depends what I'm working on. Like, I'm already getting into too much detail for this thing right now, so I'll try to not to do that. I mean, there are some things that I don't like with it so far, and I guess it looks a bit better. So there are some things I like to create a shape sometimes and just paint the shape and get into detail. I mean, that's what I'm going to do probably with this piece too.
Do you draw in a vector?
Yes, sometimes, but I'm not a huge fan of vectors.
I had drawn vector, to be honest.
I mean, I really like, I've seen, I mean, there are crazy designs that people do in Illustrator and vector art, but I'm not the biggest fan of creating vectors. I mean, for myself. Even though there are a lot of clients, especially when it comes to t-shirt designs, a lot of people require vector art for their products.
I think drawing in vector, it is more about design and techniques,
Yeah,
less about
I
creativity.
mean, even for illustration,
Oh,
I
something
mean, sorry.
something happened with your connection, maybe.
Yeah, one sec.
Yeah, are you here already? Okay, I
Is it
see
back?
you.
Okay. Yeah, I had to change the connection of the internet.
Okay.
I totally forgot about that part. So about vector illustrations, especially with the new versions of Illustrator, there are some crazy things that can be done with Illustrator. So yeah, people that are doing that kind of work are amazing. I mean,
Yes, I remember we were starting video with Corel Draw, and there was super perfect works made in vector. And I always want to make something the same, but when I start to work with it, I understood that I can't, and I want to work with
vectors.
the vectors with lines, curves. Oh, so boring.
Yeah, but I've seen a lot of illustrators that do this, they create a sketch, like paper sketch, and they just go and finish the sketches like in Illustrator, and they do these amazing illustrations with the tool. I mean, Illustrator as a tool has the new versions have really crazy things added to them, like adding 3D. I've seen people do like shading and 3D in Illustrator, and it looks really, really, really good.
I agree, but I think it is not my way.
Yeah, same.
I lost my brush.
You said that you made a brush pencil brush for Procreate.
Oh yes, I have a lot sets with different brushes, with brushes who imitate natural materials and techniques, watercolor, gouache, and but I prefer calligraphic brush and chalks.
Hands are probably the hardest part when doing something. Okay, I'll not get into too much detail for it, so I don't get caught up with only with the hands. I've been using the sketch brushes from Procreate, like the default brushes.
Repeat it.
I've been using the pencil brushes that Procreate has, like the default brushes.
I almost don't use it default. I want to create something new and use new things.
Yeah, that's probably great. I mean, not probably, that's a great thing to do. I'm just too lazy.
I used custom brushes, but almost in every way I try to remake them to be more useful for me.
Yeah. So yeah, this is one of the things that I was talking about before. Oops. If there are things that I can reuse without spending time, I mean, this is really helpful for when working with clients, especially when you have tight deadlines, when you have symmetrical stuff.
I use when I draw something. I don't know. I draw mandala, and when I draw use symmetric stuff, but very rare.
There is a great option in Procreate for things like that, like because you can set the symmetry like to octagonal, and it doesn't have to be only one-sided.
I will draw background with that instrument.
Yeah, I should probably speed up a bit. guess another suggestion is for people to write down their layers when they're working with more than 5 layers or something like that. Sometimes I work with too many layers and I totally get lost.
Yes, I try to use less layers if I can. How long do you draw one illustration? Can you?
It really depends on the illustration of what type of illustration is. Because sometimes it can, I mean, it could be like, I don't know, like 15 minutes for the sketch and almost have a finished illustration. Sometimes it can be an hour. I guess it depends on what I'm working on and what I mean, do I have any ideas like that before that?
I noticed that I spent for illustration about 1 hour and half of an hour. If I draw more than 3 hours, I start hating this picture, and I think it was so boring. I love to work with few projects to switch on between them.
I mean, there are some illustrations that I get caught up with, and it takes. I mean, I have them finished, but there are things that I like to change with them, so it can take for 3 hours, 4 hours a day or 2. Sometimes I leave illustration and I get back to it after a few days.
Now I work with clients who ordered a storyboard. I draw it already 3 days, and I start to be bored because I don't love this idea. She asked me to draw. Боже мой, как она по...
Yeah, try in Russian, maybe I'll understand.
Jellyfish.
Oh yeah.
The character of drugstore is jellyfish. Jellyfish Gorgona.
So it's Gorgona was like the character, like Medusa, and like
yes.
Yeah.
And I draw comics or storyboard with that Medusa, and I'll send you later a video with character with doll of that character. She's terrible, really terrible. Just a second, I'll show you. I can do it with my WhatsApp, my iPad. Oh, you're also beautiful.
Thank you. I mean, I have the phone behind me, so I'm not really. If there is, I mean, if it's not visible as it should be, please do tell me because I'm not looking at the display.
Okay, I found. Do you see? I draw that character. I should.
You have to draw this character?
Yes, I should draw comics and storyboard with that character. And I have very funny video with them.
Actually, it's really crazy character.
Just a second. I don't know if you see them.
Oh my God, this is crazy.
Uh,
But because you mentioned storyboards, that's probably one. I mean, I really enjoy working on storyboards.
I should draw with person to be sexy and romantic, but after I saw that video, I can't do it. I always want to laugh about. Okay, I should return to my girl.
Yeah, so like I said, I get lost with the layers. But a storyboard is a really nice thing, I mean, for me to work on. Like, it's fast, and I mean, you can execute ideas without getting into details too much, and you can still see the final product.
Yes, also it's a well-paid thing.
Yeah, that too. But what I really like with storyboards is you draw something, I mean, an idea or something, and when you see the final product, if it's, I don't know, if it's animation or commercial or whatever it is, it's really nice to see the different medium of something that you've worked on.
Oh, my girl looks naked.
Oh, I just saw this. The girl looks amazing.
Do you use Wacom?
Yeah. I mean, I've tried, I mean, not other tablets. I mean, for the PC, Wacom is probably the best thing
Yes.
I've tried so far. And sometimes even the iPad is not good enough for some things.
Oh, did you try to share to combine iPad and a screen of PC?
What you mean? Like,
I
you
mean,
mean to screen share?
use iPad like Wacom, Wacom with
Like
screen.
Wacom? Yeah, I
Uh,
have. I mean, it depends on what I'm working on. Sometimes there are things that I do on the iPad that are really much more comfortable to create them on the iPad than on the Wacom tablet. And there are things that I do on the vacuum tablet that are not that. I mean, you can do them on the iPad too, but it takes more time. It usually comes to that to the thing with the shortcuts. So if I have to paint something like more painty or less clear, I use the vacuum tablet. If I have to paint something clean, something like this, then I use the iPad. Okay, not at the moment, but usually. I don't like this line.
Oh, I as always don't like what I what I draw.
Yeah, that's the hardest part. I mean, you draw something, and after a few minutes, you don't like what you've done. I know a lot of people that are actually fighting with that problem. Like they do something, and 10 minutes later, then they don't like it, and they want to do something else. I mean, I guess that's nice. I mean, it's good because you see the mistakes that you've done before, you know how to improve stuff.
Друзья, если у вас есть какие-нибудь вопросы, можете писать. У меня тут открыт монитор, я вижу весь прямой эфир. Пишите, задавайте. Может, кто-то хочет поучаствовать и перерисовать что-нибудь нашими руками сюда.
What about, so you said that you get a lot, I mean, you have clients and everything. Do you use any platforms, or do you have like clients contacting you?
No, I don't use something special.
In the past few years, I've noticed that a lot of the orders that I'm getting are coming from Instagram.
I get orders from Instagram, from my friends of friends, and I work at peopleperhour.com. It's a platform of freelance.
Yeah, I've tried using that at some point, but I didn't really like it, so I kind of stopped. But it was still in the beginning phase. It was too early.
I think everyone has that platform, different platform. I
Yeah,
can't work at Upwork. I tried to find any orders there, but I can't.
yeah, Upwork is really hard to begin with, but once you start, I guess it's okay. But that's
Yeah.
probably with any platform, like you have to show your work and do few jobs so you can get up there.
Well,
Do we have timing for this? Because I'm getting into details again.
oh, I will leave by finally in 2 minutes, but we can continue after it.
Okay. Yeah, this took a lot of time. Okay, I'll try to speed up things. I really like drawing tattoos and stuff like that on characters.
Your girl looks better.
It's different. I wouldn't agree. I mean, it's two different things. I mean, your girl looks really cool.
I'm doing something new for me. I don't draw the same things.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last thing.
I am drawing the same. In the first time, I'm usually draw the different things. I thought you see in my Insta. I draw something like fashion portraits,
I
and
really like those fashion portraits that you do and the fashion illustrations.
Glenn, what do you mean?
The illustrations that you do, I really like those, like the fashion illustrations that you do. They're really, really, really good.
No, thank you. В руках у этих персонажей, значит, планеты. У персонажа Дарка планета Земля, у меня Луна.
Ждем Дарка. Что-то у него там отвалилось опять.
Okay, I mean, I didn't notice that my connection dropped off.
I even didn't notice that you and I start like my vocab only when I keep silence.
Yeah, I do the same. I mean, I was talking something I can't even remember what I was saying before. But yeah, when I start working, usually it's just silence. I mean, silence. I do not talk, and I just listen to music or podcasts. And
Yes.
lately, I've been listening to these crazy. I mean, it's really interesting podcasts, like The Infinite Monkey Cage or something like that. So it's more about science and stuff like that, like physics, but in a really fun way. So they're really nice to listen to. But because we mentioned music before, like I also like from time to time I really like listening to some really good jazz.
I understand. If I will imagine what I want to get, I draw better.
Yeah, but I mean, doing sketches is really nice for that thing. I mean, sometimes there are things that I do like 10 sketches on paper or whatever, and then I do 10 more and 10 more. I mean, and every time you do the idea, it changes. Sometimes a lot, sometimes just small details that change. But I guess, I mean, working on sketches is really nice because you experiment and you find new stuff that you like or dislike. It depends on what it is.
But you get your pretty picture immediately. I want to.
When you have idea what you want to draw.
Perhaps I didn't know what I I will draw in final.
I'm going with the flow with this
Yeah.
too.
I will draw with symbols like only you go. my family is back. Did you finish?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just adding stuff right now.
Привет.
Is that your brother?
My son. Bring me a
Son?
flower.
Oh, nice. Does he draw?
No.
How old is he?
I think I finished for this picture. I don't know how to make it better. Maybe I should return to it later on another day.
Yeah,
What
I'll
do you think?
probably do something with this one, but it looks really nice. I love doing the same. I mean, I love really adding the stars in here and stuff like that.
Will you send me these pictures and I combine it, publish new post today evening or tomorrow?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm almost done, so I can send you the illustration.
Okay, will we finish?
Yeah.
Nice. I like what we get with a live
I really like the illustration you did.
meet you on direct.
So I will send you the illustration and you can post them after.
Okay, I will be waiting. Thank
It
you.
was really nice talking to you, and thank you for the opportunity to talk more about illustration and freelancing.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye. See you later in messages.
Cheers.
Thank you.